Hello and welcome to another video with a little bit different of a setup. I'm using a brand new camera and hopefully it looks a little bit crisper. We'll see how it turns out. It's also kind of a test, but welcome to another video. I just got done watching the big huge Microsoft and Bethesda press conference for 2022, and again I'll say the same thing I said with Sony right off the cuff. Very mixed. Very mixed at this year's presentation. We'll go through the ins and the outs, what I thought looked good, what I thought looked bad, but overall, like my off-the-cuff impressions is just, once again, we don't have a lot of things for 2022. It's very apparent, and even more so now that we've gotten through the big two conferences, that 2022 is just going to be a very forgotten year for video games. So anyways, let's go ahead and we'll dive through. So this press conference was a little bit odd, but one thing that I really enjoyed about it was that they had said going into this, it's going to be games, and it's going to be all gameplay. And I'll actually say Microsoft delivered on that promise. Everything we saw was pretty much raw gameplay. And if it was a game that had like a cinematic trailer, that trailer would lead into gameplay. I don't think a single game was shown that did not show actual gameplay. Smart. The second thing, and this is a little bit more annoying to me, is they're promising that every game on this show will be out within the next 12 months. You can't really make a promise like that. I'm going to be honest. There are a couple games on this list that I snickered at when they said, as I thought back to the beginning of the show, where they said all these games will be out within the next 12 months. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, dude. We'll start off. The first thing they showed, which was shocking to me, was Redfall, which right now they're saying early 2023 for Redfall. It looks cool. I'll be honest, like, do we need another Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead type co-op game? Probably not, but I think the idea of this game is extremely interesting. It has its own unique style going for it. I like the vampire setting. I like the setting of the world, but it looks rough. Like, visually, you can tell this is a game that's being held back by last generation hardware. The next thing they showed was Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm not really a big fan of the original Hollow Knight, but it's cool that they're making another one. People seem really excited for it. I think the announcement here is that it'll be available day one on Game Pass. Another thing I'll say is, like, they changed the play day one on Game Pass thing to show at pretty much the end of almost every trailer, and it's about as annoying as the World Premiere Game Awards thing. So, and you saw it a lot, like a lot. The next game they showed, it's a game that I feel like a lot of people are going to be really into this. I'm not, because I don't like Rick and Morty at all. I think it's terrible. High on Life. I don't know, I just don't care for the humor of Rick and Morty. I never have, and a video game in that style with that kind of humor does not interest me in the slightest. So this was a game that for me was a complete wash. It does come out this year. I'm sure people will be excited. Rick and Morty fans, I'm sure, will like it, but not for me. I don't know why anybody really cares about this, because these are games that have been out for years on PC. And keep in mind, these are not coming to Game Pass for console. This is all PC and mobile, and that is a slew of Riot games. So you have like League of Legends, the card game, Valorant, all those. They're coming to Game Pass. Why this matters, I don't know. I feel like the community that already plays those games is already playing those games, so like why bother here? And also, Riot Games is another company that's like an HR nightmare, but apparently Microsoft likes to step in on HR nightmare companies. I don't know. Did not care. Then they showed a Plague Tale Requiem. Plague Tale Requiem, I've talked about it a little bit on the channel. I played the first one. I thought the first like half of it was decent. The story really nosedives in the second half. I absolutely hated the end of that game. The last boss battle I thought was one of the dumbest things I've seen in recent years for a video game, and I'm not really interested in Plague Tale Requiem. I do think it's a cool get for Game Pass, and I will admit, like, visually the game is stunning. The first one was as well, but I don't care about this. Like, this did nothing for me. Then we have Forza Motorsport. This was the game that I thought was a for sure shoe-in for release this fall. No, It's spring 2023. Holy shit! Like, what? Like, for real? What the fuck? Like, Microsoft at this point in the conference is telling me we don't really have much this fall, guys. We're sorry. And I thought Forza would be the one game, but it's not. Does it look incredible? Yes, but it's a racing game. Racing games always look incredible. They rebuilt Forza from the ground up in this new engine. I think it'll be a good game when it comes out, but I really only like the Horizon games, so I'm not going to play this. But for racing fans, this is going to be a pretty cool one. It talked about Microsoft Flight Simulator being a 40th anniversary. You can ride helicopters now, and the Halo Pelican is going to be in there, I think today, they said. It's cool. Microsoft Flight Simulator from, what was that, last year? Really, really solid game. I'm not a flight simulator person, so another case of it didn't do anything for me, but that's cool. This was a weird one to have on the Xbox showcase, but I guess it makes sense because, you know, they're going to own Blizzard and Activision soon anyways. Overwatch 2 apparently launches in early access in October. I think it said October 4th. And it's free to play. So there's that bummer already that, you know, they're going to monetize the shit out of this game. Not surprising. That's the way the industry is going for multiplayer games. So it's just, for me personally, I look at it and go, man, Overwatch was like one of the last huge multiplayer games that I feel like did it right by the consumer. And by making those changes for the sequel, I think it's a bad idea. And I don't think it's going to go very well for them. But that's October 4th. Then they wheeled out Pete Hines from Bethesda. You know, he's there every year. He always likes to talk about the old games, right? So he talked about Elder Scrolls Online and the latest expansion, which is out next week. And he talked about an expansion for 76, which is out in September. I don't care about either of these. I like the fact that we're still talking about Fallout 76 on an E3 like stage is honestly ridiculous and kind of fucking insulting at this point. So I like this was a waste of like 10 minutes of the conference, in my opinion. Finally, a hot item here that I'm excited about, which is Forza Horizon 5 is getting Hot Wheels DLC. They did this for the last, I want to say they did it for 3 and 4, but I might be wrong on 4. A fantastic DLC in 3. I'm glad to see it return in this one. Looking forward to playing that. I think they said July 19th, which is really cool. So just right around the corner. That's something to look forward to. Another laughable trailer, Ark 2, supposedly coming out in 2023. Within the next 12 months, man. Within the next 12 months, you're going to see this game. I forgot Vin Diesel's in this game. That's weird as shit. It's a weird trailer. You know, I would argue this was the one and only no gameplay trailer. It was, now that I think back on it, this trailer completely was CG. Have you played Ark in the last like year? It's still broken as shit. Like, I can't imagine this game's going to be any better than the last one. I'll try it maybe if it gets good reviews, but I have no excitement for Ark 2. Another one that I actually am excited about, and I've talked about it on the channel before, Scorn. Scorn is looking great. It's like the H.R. Geiger, like pleasure cruise is what I like to call that game, because it just looks ridiculous. I'm looking forward to that game. It looks like a crazy horror game, and, you know, I always will lobby for good horror games. This one looks great. And it's out in October, so, you know, I think it's going to be another divisive, like, The Medium type. Another huge announcement, at least to me, I thought this was pretty cool. It was rumored before the show, but now that I've seen it, I'm more interested in it, and that is Minecraft Legends, which is like a mix of a strategy and action. More action than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be like your standard RTS. It's not. It actually looks like it's doing something different. This was also an early 2023 game. Another one that I thought looked cool was Lightyear Frontier, which looks like it's kind of a Stardew Valley set in space game, but, you know, first person, you're in a mech suit. You like travel to a new planet and you're setting up. A lot of people talking about this one on Twitter afterwards. I was kind of bummed on it. It's a Metroidvania style game called The Last Case of Benedict Fox. A lot of people were like really high on this game. For me, something about it seems off for a Metroidvania game. So we'll see. Maybe it gets good reviews and I'll try it. It's a Game Pass game, but I don't know. It didn't do much for me. Another another laughable one. Grounded gets its actual official out of early access launch in September. I see a lot of Xbox fans defend the shit out of this game. Like, it's the greatest thing that nobody's playing. Even though they said in that trailer that over 10 million people play Grounded, I just don't believe that. But I don't know. Like, I look at this and go, hey, this is a game that's already been out for like 2 years. Congratulations on getting it out the door. I don't know. It would not for me. Let's talk about one of the biggest highlights of the show for me. We're finally going to talk about something that I am excited about, and that is Diablo 4. So they showed a pretty substantial amount, the most we've seen of Diablo 4, including what was actually Xbox Series X gameplay. I think this game looks incredible. I've always been a huge Diablo fan, and I think the choices and the design decisions that are making around this game are incredibly smart. Having these like big PvE areas where a bunch of people can join up and fight a giant monster, I think that's really cool. I think they're making smart decisions to push Diablo as a franchise forward, and it looks incredible visually too, I have to say. They're saying 2023. That was one of the games I looked at and laughed, because does that game hit in the next 12 months? I don't see it, but it's possible. Some game called Ravenlock, which is from the people that made Echo Generation. I know a game that a lot of people that have Game Pass and like indie games really enjoyed. Nothing to really say about that. Again, there were a lot of indie games shown at this thing. I'm going to rattle off some of the other ones. There was Cocoon. One that actually looked pretty interesting. This was not an indie game. This was kind of a bigger deal. Team Ninja. When they first started showing this game, I thought it was a new Ninja guy, and it's not. It's called Wulong Fallen Dynasty. It looks cool. So, 2023 game will be on Game Pass right away. It looks cool. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. Another big, huge announcement, but we'll talk about the good and the bad of it. But I'm very excited about this announcement. For the first time ever, the Persona series finally comes to the Xbox. And they're going to be on Game Pass. You're going to get 3, 4, and 5. Now, here comes... That's the good news. Here comes the other foot dropping on this. Persona 5 Royal is going to be the first one out, and that's in October. No dates for 4 or 3. So you know they're going to do these backwards. Why are we waiting for the other two, which already have ports? Like, 3 actually I don't think has a good port right now, but 4 does. This announcement should have been a, hey, they're out. There were no, hey, it's out today announcements. This should have been that. And that's the biggest problem. Can you imagine releasing these 3 games right now at the beginning of summer when there is fucking nothing to play? I will tell you right now, I'd put everything I'm playing on the back burner to play Persona 3. It's the only one I've never played. But no, I have to wait because, fuck, dude. Like you got to play Persona 5 Royal first. Like, I've already dumped 100 hours into Persona 5. It was my game of the year 2017. I don't need to replay that game. Persona 4, it's been a decade. I actually am interested in playing through that game again. And then I've never played Persona 3, but now I have to wait probably another year before those two come out. All right, and we'll get to the final 2 announcements of this show, and then I'll kind of go through what was, what my thoughts of the entire show as a whole was. One of the biggest announcements of the show is that finally, it's been rumored forever, they finally decided to get off the pot and talk about it, and that is Kojima is indeed joining with Xbox to make an exclusive game for the system. That's the good news of this. The bad news of this, it's gonna somehow utilize the cloud. I don't know, man. Like, it was one of those like somebody has your heart in their hand and they go, hey, you know what? There's a Kojima announcement, and then they could do this. But hey, guess what? And that's how I felt about this announcement. I looked at it and just said, oh fuck, it's a cloud thing. Is that gonna actually work and be something anybody cares about? I don't know. I'm glad to see Kojima is doing something different and working with Microsoft. That's really cool. I was really hoping this was Death Stranding 2. With the double bonus of, oh hey, guess what? Death Stranding 1 Director's Cut is out on Game Pass today for PC and Xbox. That was my pie in the sky hope. Nah, this is just, hey, I'm making a new game, but I'm probably making Death Stranding 2 first, so you're not going to see this for a decade. And then finally we get to the big one, and the one I'll probably speak on the most, and it's the game that everybody came to this show looking to see. That is, of course, the next huge Bethesda RPG, Starfield. So what do I think about I've seen 15 minutes of the game now. The most that any footage has been shown in the game. What do I think of it? I'm going to be honest, I'm mixed on it. The point of my Microsoft review is I was mixed on it. And I think nothing more encapsulates that than my reaction to Starfield. So Starfield's trailer, they showed a lot of footage. The first part of the trailer was all focused on gameplay, landing on this planet, taking out this base. All of that was rough as shit. I'm talking rough enough that if I was Todd Howard and I saw the footage before I walked on stage, I wouldn't have shown it. That's how rough I thought it looked. And I know people are going to be out there and they're going to defend it, but if that was all they showed, I would have told you, oh wow, they really need... I mean, it was more... Nothing was more evident to me than this game actually needed its delay. Because if there are parts of the game that are that rough looking, this game cannot come out in November. But like the gunplay, everything was really choppy. There was a lot of frame rate issues. I don't know. I was just bummed when I saw that because I'm like, oh man, it's going to be another Bethesda game. I was hoping maybe they would do something more with their engine. It doesn't seem like they've really done more to innovate on that. Then they showed kind of a supercut of the different areas you're going to be able to go to, the different environments. That was a lot better. That actually looked pretty cool, pretty decent. I was excited about that. And it made me more excited about the game. Then they wrapped it up by showing like how you can customize your character. Again, all great. That stuff, all great. Hey, you're gonna be able to build and customize your own ship. There's all sorts of crafting, you know. So what is Starfield? It's basically Skyrim meets No Man's Sky, is the easiest way I can describe it. So far, that the fact that the tool you're using to like suck up minerals and in the environment just looks like the shit you used in No Man's Sky. It's clear like they had all these ideas, and then that game came out. They said we can fucking copy that, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, is there any world in which I'm not going to play Starfield? No. But after seeing 15 minutes of it, I can confirm that now that yes, it's actually a real video game, and yes, it is going to come out in the next 12 months, but it needed to delay out of this fall. That's the clearest thing I can say after that footage was shown. This game is not ready for November 11th. So, Microsoft's conference. What can I say about Microsoft's conference? It was mixed. Like, I didn't hate, and I didn't sit here and go, I hate this, I hate that, but I didn't love it. Like, there wasn't anything. There were some pretty big announcements. I think Diablo 4 looked fantastic. I think there are parts of Starfield that looks fantastic. There are parts of it that look really rough. I think the Kojima thing is cool, but it's another one of those, are we really going to announce another 10-year thing? And then, of course, you have the disappointment of games that weren't shown here. Fucking Hellblade 2. Where is that shit? Hellblade 2 is a game that was announced at the 2020 Game Awards. We've seen it one other time. Really? No footage? No trailer? You're telling me that Hellblade is not going to be out within the next 12 months? Ridiculous. No Fable. No Avowed. No Perfect Dark. Those two were already kind of announced before the show, but like Everwild, like these games that were announced so long ago that should already be out. Nowhere to be shown, which tells me they're not ready in the next 12 months. So Avowed is the one of these games that I'll give a pass, but like I can't give Hellblade a pass anymore. I can't give Fable. I'm not giving Fable a pass anymore. Either you're making the game or it needs to just be over. You need to come out and do a scale bound and say, you know what, it's been canceled. Sorry guys, we couldn't get it. So overall, I honestly came off of this feeling about the same as I felt with Sony's conference. I think I gave that a C+. I'm giving this a B- only because they had more stuff to show. I mean, look at Sony's conference was 30 minutes. This was 95. And I saw a lot of stuff. I also like the improvements here of, hey, this is all gameplay except for that one, except for Arc 2. That's how I feel Arc 2. Like, they went to those developers who were like, hey, we're showing nothing but gameplay this year. And those people said, well, we can't show gameplay. Have you seen Arc 1? like, and that's why you got a CG trailer. But I like the fact that this conference specifically was gameplay and gameplay and gameplay. There was not a heavy emphasis on CG trailers, shit you're not even going to see in the actual game. This was very focused on gameplay. I like the idea of 12 months, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen. They're promising in the next 12 months 50 games coming to the Xbox. So, we'll see. Yeah, you know what? There's one other thing I really, at this point, really hate about Microsoft conferences, and I have to say it. The term console launch exclusive is bullshit. I hate it. It's dumb. All you're telling me is that, hey man, you're going to be able to play this game on the Xbox first for probably 90 days, and then it'll come to the PlayStation. That means nothing to me. You want me to be excited? Tell me, hey, guess what, man? This game can only be played on the Xbox or PC. That's fine. But console launch exclusive, stop using the term. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, overall, I'm giving the press conference a B-, and specifically because they just had more to show, but it's about as disappointing but as expected as the Sony conference was. 2022 is looking like a pretty dry year for games. There's going to be some smaller indie games to come out. There's going to be some things to play for sure, but it sucks. At the same time, for somebody like me, I have such a ridiculous backlog of games that it doesn't really bother me that that's what I'm probably going to be doing this year. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So, but again, it's never been more clear and more evident that they just need content. And the content is coming, but it's now delayed another year. So, Microsoft, B-. I thought it was an okay show. They've had better shows in the past. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did you like the show? Did you hate the show? What did you miss? What did you want to see? The last thing I'll say here before I end the video is, what's up with GoldenEye? it was getting so close to the point that I thought for sure it was going to be, hey, GoldenEye Remastered's out today. It's on Game Pass. Like, the fucking achievements are up on Xbox.com, but apparently that was something that either was pulled last minute or was not planned for this. So, anyways, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.